and this coach is very happy.
A great chapter to begin.
Let's go! Still on his feet. Slip the tackle. 20, 15, 10.
Captain for the coin toss. And we'd like to thank and acknowledge today's officials. Referee Robert Greer, Pedro Gomez, Mike Lyman, Keon Smith, Bradley Bob. These are your game officials. Thank you very much for all your support.
Watch yourself here a second. Welcome to Friday Night Lights, our high school game of the week. The Roosevelt Rough Riders, in back-to-back weeks here at home, are hosting this time on September the 2nd, on a Thursday night, the week of Labor Day weekend on the horizon, or the holiday weekends coming up. Therefore, the games were changed by the LA City section. Instead of from tomorrow night on Friday, it's Thursday night. So, copying of the NFL format, which is very successful as well. Any day of the week is good for sports, and especially for high school football here in Southern California, East Los Angeles, California, and Boyle Heights. And we cover a wide swath of the geography here for the city of LA. And just glad that we're coming to you from Boyle Heights here, very close to downtown. Just a hop and step over Alameda, over the LA River, and you're into Boyle Heights. And here we are now, ready to go with our crew. Franklin Robles, our chief videographer and producer, a field producer here tonight, along with our production assistant, Ricky Seamanthal. Yours truly, Rico Cabrera, or Rico Cabrera Sr. Of course, being bilingual, we want to give you both flavors of our language and our abilities to speak in another language other than English. So here we are, and of course you'll notice that the names will be pronounced in Spanish as much as possible for the benefit of our players and their families. And visiting tonight will be the Crenshaw Cougars, the very, very fabled and storied high school football program from the inner city of Los Angeles in South LA, located at roughly 54th and Crenshaw. They are, of course, known for basketball and football. With their great athletic programs. And this football team brought in by head coach Robert Garrett for some nearly 40 years being employed as a LA City school and LA Unified school teacher, and of course football coach. Okay, setting the background here, you see the Roosevelt Rough Riders with their special teams kickoff unit is there, ready to go. Crenshaw is going to be in white, dark blue, possibly black, with a very Dodger bluish helmet to go along with their tricolor jersey colors here in black, white, and we're going to call it the baby blue or the Dodger blue. Okay, again, Roosevelt all in cardinal and gold. A switch from some of their previous colors where you saw them really mimicking and patterning the USC Trojans in their cardinal and gold. These are the same colors, just a different type of a uniform where the pants, the jersey number, and the helmet all coincide to be gold. Okay, we have starting lineups, and here we go now. We'll get ready for the kickoff, and then we'll give you the starting lineups for both teams. But let's see who's back to kick off for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Looking at number possibly 41 as he comes up to the football. And that will be Angel Nolasco. Angel Nolasco. He will be set to kick off. You see him right there teeing the ball up. A good night for high school football. It's one of the very first times that we've seen Crenshaw go on the road here early in the season, coming over here to East LA and playing Roosevelt. They have played Garfield before, home and home, but this is the first time we've seen him here at Roosevelt High School. 4 quarters of football, 12-minute quarters. And we have also the referee crew. Will give you their names as we move into the contest. Here we go. End over end kick. Oh, look out. Went right through the hands or possibly touched by number 21. And once it goes into the end zone in high school football, the ball is dead. And they're going to have to come out here and put it in play from the 20-yard line. Okay, just underway here. Should be a very, very good measuring rod here for Coach Aldo Paral and his coaching staff because they're playing Crenshaw. And just the name itself can be intimidating to many schools and many coaches and players. But nonetheless, here we are, ready to go. And we're going to try and get you the starting lineups here for Crenshaw in just a moment. They break the huddle. And we'll try to pick up out of the shotgun. Number 15 hands it off. Running play. Good dive and in there on the stop. Okay. Running back there carried the ball. Marlon, let's see here. We'll go Marlon Wilson. First carry for Crenshaw. Stopped in there by number 4. For Roosevelt. That's Isaiah Wright. Second down, and let's call it 7. And off again. Same play. And the helmet popped off of the carrier. That's Wilson. Let's see what the referee in the white helmet, white face mask is going to be ruled against Roosevelt. The referee tonight in the white hat, the crew chief, Robert Greer. And they're going to step off the penalty right there. You see him. Major penalty. That's one of the targeted issues that Coach Paral is going to work on here with his team because major penalties at any time of the game are very bad for any team for their momentum. Okay, 1st and 10 for the Cougars. That is their nickname. 34, Trevor Lewis, tight end, Jamari Leonard, number 52, tackle, William Thomas, number 77, number 51, Darnell Horton, 65, Tyler Lewis, 55, Chris Scott, 17, Darrell Lane, 15 is Zion Bennett. There's the play on the far left. And that's number 14 with the carry, and he gets ridden out of bounds right in front of his bench, Andrew Wynn. Number 14, the ball carrier, Andrew Wynn. Okay, we're going through some of the numbering here for both squads on their rosters. It's still early in the season. And we want to make sure we get you the right numbers for the right players. Okay. We made note of that on the roster change for Crenshaw. It's going to bring up, let's call it 2nd and 6. Quarterback is over the ball. No, it's out of the shotgun. He's dropping back. He's going to air it out deep. Oh, he's got a receiver. Caught. Oh, my goodness. Beautifully thrown, beautifully caught. And Raya Thomas. Oh, my goodness. A good 50-yard pass. The ball's line of scrimmage was at about, let's call it the 49-yard line. He's going to be down, knocking on the goal line or the doorstep of the Roosevelt Rough Riders in just the second to third play from scrimmage. And heaving that ball down at quarterback was Zion Bennett. And Thomas on the receiving end caught it in stride. Picture perfect play. 10:23 left in the first period. Just underway here at Roosevelt High School. Bennett is going to carry, and he's going to scoot in untouched for quarterback Zion Bennett.
2-point conversion, good.
Oh, check that. 2-point. Oh, the pass that we saw was for the touchdown, so give him credit. We couldn't actually see the signals from the referees, but we have at least a 51-yard, unofficially now, touchdown pass from Bennett to his wide receiver, Thomas. And that just took maybe a minute and a half. So Crenshaw up on top now by a score of 8-0. And Roosevelt will have to re-huddle or regroup real quick and see how things work out for him. Special teams on now for Crenshaw. Let's see who they send out for the kicking chores or the kickoff chores. And the referee's about to give it to the kicker. Let's see who it is. And it's going to be held. No, he's laying it down here on the ground for Crenshaw to decide how they're going to kick off here after the touchdown. And no tee here is going to be kicked right off of the ground. Let's see how the Roosevelt special teams handle it. And it's going to be on the ground. It's picked up there by Reed, number 11. Caught it. Uh-oh. Players are hitting the ground, and he picked it up at the 40, and it's going to be spotted at about the 43-yard line. So Nazir Reed gets credit for the kickoff return for the Riders. Let's set you the lineup here for Roosevelt, starting lineup. Number 80, Ben Salinas. Number 75, Daniel Cuevas. 50 is Alejandro Ibarra. 55 at center, Daniel Butron. 54, Freddy Perez. 56, Osman Cerezo. 13 is Andrew Oliva. Number 1, James Cortez. Number 4, Isaiah Wright. Number 5, Jared Andrade. And number 9 at fullback, Alexander Arroyo. Double wing formation. Very tightly bunched, and getting the call. Looks like it might have been the wing back. Coming from his right side. And it was Isaiah Wright, number 4, on the first carry from scrimmage. 8-0 in favor of the Cougars, just underway here in the first quarter. Roosevelt coming off of a loss to Lincoln last week, a very tight game, very good game. But this is the first game of the season for the Crenshaw Cougars. They're 0-0, game 1 for them. Cortez, a quarterback. Arroyo behind him, a fullback pitch. Here we go to Andrade. Got a block. Still going. Oh, and he's right in front of the bench and picks up good yardage. At least it's enough for the first down. Jared Andrade had himself a very good game last week. Over 100 yards in total rushing for Jared Andrade. And he's picking up from where he left off. Andrade is going to check out. Going back in is number 10. For the Riders. And that's Carlos Vasquez in at the wingback. Cortez, Alfaro got the call and went over right tackle. and he's going in for a good gain on the play. So the ground game here by head coach Aldo Paral seems to be working, at least in the first series. And the Roosevelt Rough Riders, again, got to be very careful with those penalties. 34 checks in for the Riders. And let's get you his name. That's going to be not on our sheet at this moment. 34 for Roosevelt. We're going to try to find out his name. Pitch. Here we go now. Andrade again, left. Sweeping. He's got room. Oh, then Bennett with a beautiful takedown. Threw his shoulder into Andrade. Well, he was in full stride, but Andrade just gobbling up the yards here, pushing the Riders forward on their ground game. And it's going to bring up, let's call it another first down. So give Andrade back-to-back carries for first downs, 20 yards plus for the junior running back. Riders come out from the huddle. Vasquez, number 10. Arroyo, number 9, the fullback, and Alfaro on the right wing back. He's in motion. And it goes to the fullback. No, check that. Vasquez on the counter, still on his feet. They missed the tackle. Still going. Yeah, beautiful effort there by number 10 for the Riders. He picks up very positive yardage on that carry. Again, Thursday night lights here, East LA Sports Scene Productions and EastLASportsScene.com bringing you tonight's presentation. The Riders are on a drive after the kickoff from Crenshaw. First drive began at their own 43-yard line. And both teams now have had possessions. Riders looking to tie things up here in the first quarter of play. Double wing formation, pitch counter. Gomez. Oh, had no room there to turn that corner. He was caught in the backfield and bringing him down the double 5, 52, Jamori Leonard, and 55, Chris Scott for Crenshaw. Scott at defensive end. Lewis, defensive tackle, number 65. William Thomas, 77. Number 51, Darnell Horton. And we're giving you the defense now for Crenshaw. Jamori Leonard, 52. And Marlon Wilson, number 21. Darrell Kane, number 17. Lewis Allen, 33. Andrew Wynn, 14. And Tajay Avery, 19. And Zion Bennett, 15 for Crenshaw. Cortez at the controls. Alfaro in motion. Cortez rolling out. Throws a screen pass. He's got a man open. And then boom, he's hit. But holding on was Gomez. Gabriel Gomez. And that's going to be close enough for the first down. Maybe 4th and 1. Let's see what Coach Paral calls here. Going back in is Salinas. Number 15, again, hitting hard, Zion Bennett. He's also the quarterback. Again, most schools in the LA City section, at least in the inner city, are going to have players going both ways. So it's very, very difficult, as you can imagine, to play 11-man football both ways for the entire 48 minutes. Riders, big play here. Mr. Momentum is back on their side. Anchoring the right side is 75, Daniel Cuevas, 300-pounder. Cortez, Alfaro in motion. Uh-oh, someone moved. Too much movement there for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Offsides. They rule it against the Riders. That's going to put them back another 5 yards. So 2 penalties here have hurt the Riders. First one was holding on the defense, and now they're called here for another penalty. So the second of the half in the first period as well. So
4th down and 6. 4th down, Roosevelt lining up.
4th and 6 for the Riders. We saw a rare passing play, a pass option from the quarterback to his wideout on the last play. Riders come back, pitch, They look for Andrade. Oh, no go, no go. Number 17. Blitz through there. Number 17. He gets credit for the stop for Crenshaw. And that's Darrell Kane. D-A-R-R-E-L-L-C-A-N-E. Darrell Kane gets credit. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Crenshaw Cougars. Again, a threat down from very deep in their own territory. They certainly able to get their receivers into the secondary, and if they're open, it's a good chance that Bennett will find them. So Roosevelt secondary is going to have their hands full tonight if Crenshaw stays with the air game. Looks like Coach Garrett will mix it up. Going on the ground and out of the T formation is Bennett. Pitch, and it goes to his running back, number 21. Good balance there. Stayed on his feet. That's Marlon Wilson. Picks up about 6 yards on the carry. 8-0 in favor of the Crenshaw Cougars with a quick strike offense at 10:23 in the first period. Bennett to Thomas, the air combination there that worked wonders on that play, a 51-yard pass play unofficially. And they went in for the 2-pointer after that. Bennett, oh, there he is again. Still on his feet, broke a tackle. He's just running over defenders there is Marlon Wilson. He's a big package, no doubt about that. 4:49 on the first down carry. The clock stops. And this is Crenshaw's first game of the season. And we will give you some of the opponents they're going to be playing. And whistle sounds on the field. Looks like it's going. The referee and the crew chief, Robert Greer. And the timeout is being called. And they look like they will administer that timeout against Roosevelt. Okay. And there's a player down. And with that, we're going to bring you a word from our sponsor. And we want to let you know about our East LA Business Source Center located here in East LA. We're going to get you the copy there. It's the LA Business Source Center. The LABSC, the East Los Angeles region, is operated by Barrio Planners Incorporated, BPI. They provide a wide range of services to the business community. Its primary function is to provide entrepreneurs and small business owners the needed tools to make their business a success. Their assistance is available to businesses and residences located in the city of Los Angeles. Barrio Planners Incorporated is an East LA-based corporation with 40 years of experience in the fields of architecture, landscaping, planning, design, and economic development. With its close ties to the business community, BPI has established a superior track record in providing technical assistance and stimulating economic vitality in the greater LA area. Call them during business hours, Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 323-264-9020. That's 323-264-9020. And let them know you heard or saw the announcement on East LA Sports Scene productions of High School Game of the Week here on EastLASportsScene.com. Ask for Ralph Carmona, a graduate of Roosevelt High School, and Ruben Sanchez, a graduate of Garfield. So here we are now. Injured player is Reed, number 11. He's going to be taken out of the game for observations. And they'll check on him and see if he's okay to go back in. Meanwhile, Crenshaw with the football. On the hunt, pitch, they go right. And he's going to be stopped across the 50-yard line down to the 49. Bodies everywhere, getting slow up off that pile. We see Arroyo along with number 20 for Roosevelt. And we're going to get you his name. He's been added onto the roster. Number 20, okay, is not showing up on the roster, so we apologize for that. 20 and 34, we're going to need to find out who they are for the rest of the game. Crenshaw again in white. And we're going to say in black pants and the blue helmet. Bennett dropping back, has a target. Oh, on a wideout. It's going to be incomplete. Pass was intended for his tight end. Looks like he went on a down and out. Jersey is kind of bunched up for the number. Looks like it is. We can see a better sign of it on the backside. 34.
Incomplete pass.
Okay.
Down at 8.
And we'll come back here to some of the other players we may need to check in on from Crenshaw. 34, that would be Trevor Lewis. Trevor Lewis. Incomplete pass for Crenshaw from Bennett. Big play here for the Cougars. 3rd and about 7. Out of the shotgun is Bennett. Throws it. Incomplete. And that was number 14, Andrew Wynn. Andrew Wynn could not hold on. Let's see what Coach Garrett calls here for his team. And it looks like it's in going to be in punt formation. And here they go. And here comes the snap for Crenshaw. Oh, almost over the head of Bennett. He punts it. Oh, it's going to be a very, very difficult punt, and it takes a Roosevelt bounce. Oh, down to about the 48-yard line. That ball went vertical, straight up, and it came down knowing that the nose was going to be counterproductive towards Crenshaw, and it did so. It went backwards in favor of Roosevelt. With 3:34 left in the first quarter, we have ourselves an 8-0 ball game. Here comes the offensive unit for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. And again, going over today's game weather here, the weather condition was kind of cloudy, a little sun. Maybe you want to call it 80 degrees, but here at game time, 70 degrees and dropping down to 68 as we speak. Field conditions are very good here at Roosevelt High School. Rough Riders, Cortez at quarterback. Andrade was in motion, and then there is movement. The line is not set. They're not possibly hearing Cortez in a very strong cadence. So the three-point stance is broken, and once that happens, things start going haywire for the rhythm of the play. Another penalty assessed against the Riders, a third of the game unofficially, and as we speak, unofficial statistics, but we do keep a log here. And in the first half, that's the third penalty against Roosevelt. Unit comes back up to the line of scrimmage. Andrade with Arroyo, pitch to Andrade. Found a seam, maybe lunges forward for a few yards. And he may get back to the original line of scrimmage based on the penalty that was assessed. Good turnout here tonight at the stadium here at Roosevelt High School. Both sides of this stadium here to our right and left, very well populated. And again, masks are mandatory under LA Unified School District and LA City Section. And the crowd is eligible to attend the home games here. Pitch, Andrade. Good. Got a move there. 21 with a neck tackle. That was Wilson. Okay. And good running ground game there by. Yeah.
Across midfield, it'll be third down and about.
By Andrade. He's a very good runner, good balance, good power, and he's able to break tackles. He's going to be near the first down. It's going to bring up third. No, not near, but he's going to be 3rd and 5. 3rd and 5 for the Riders. They like the left side of their line here. Let's see if Cortez can keep them going. Andrade gets the call again. He's got room. Picked up a block in that pack. And then bringing him down, number 54 for Crenshaw. And he's in the game here. Let's give him credit. On the list that we got here for the extra players, number 54, for the Crenshaw Cougars.
Roosevelt picks up a first down. It'll be 1st and 10 across midfield.
1st and 10. Good carry there by Andrade. The momentum is good here for the Riders on their second possession. And they've had about 3 first downs as well. So timeout's going to be taken. Let's see who they assess that to. Timeout going to Roosevelt. Still here in the first quarter. 1:44 left in the first period of play. So we hope you're enjoying our presentation here on EastLASportsScene.com. East LA Sports Scene Productions. Frankly Robles, a videographer in command of filming this game and bringing it to you, our viewers, as he did last week against the first opponent. That was the Lincoln Tigers. That game is well up on our website now. It's on YouTube. We ask you to subscribe to all of our games. They'll be going up on YouTube after they get edited. Again, we bring you the game here live, from live to videotape, and then we go into the editing room and work the magic to bring you the completed package. And again, not possible without our crew. And Frankie Robles has been a member of East LA Sports Scene, I want to say forever. But he has done wonders here on our crew. I'll give him at least 5 years. And if I'm wrong, it's maybe 6 or 7 years that he's been with us here as a member of our team. Okay. Graduate of Garfield High School, by the way. Pitch. Alfaro goes right. Opening. Oh, almost broke it and brought down there by Bennett. Bennett is able to get down there in the weeds on those tackles and trips up the runners. And sometimes you find a runner that can gracefully step over some of those players, and he's left with nothing. But Bennett certainly has some very strong arms and hands to grip the runner as he's on top of him or coming towards him. Again, Roosevelt Rough Riders 1-1. First game against Maces, the Maywood Academy and Center for Enriched Studies. That was opening game, and last week they lost to Lincoln. Double wing formation, Arroyo at fullback, Cortez at quarterback. Handoff to Arroyo. First man through the fullback, and he's a big package. Still going. Oh, my goodness. Drew about 3 tacklers down with him. Number 9. And they're saying that Crenshaw came out of the pack, but it looked like he was already down. Oh, it's not reviewable. And at the end of that play, number 33 was waving the ball up. That was Lewis Allen, claiming that he had stolen it or somehow was in possession. But it looked like Arroyo had been down. And the referees on the field rule otherwise. That's 2 weeks in a row. Last week in the critical part of the game, the same play happened. Only it was James Cortez at quarterback that got smothered by the Lincoln lineman. And the ball popped out there, and he couldn't find it afterwards. Anyway, turnover, fumble. And still here in the first quarter, under a minute, 48 seconds left. And carrying the ball, number 21, that's Wilson. He's not going to get the first down, but he will certainly move the down marker. And he picks up about, let's give him 6 on that carry. 2nd and 4. So again, the mistakes and the turnovers and errors hurting the Riders at the most critical times. 13 seconds left and counting for the first quarter to end. Crenshaw with the ball. Bennett faking it to somebody. Nobody there. Broken play for the Cougars, and then coming in for the kill, for the tackle. That's going to be number 50 for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. He'll get credit for that call for the tackle. And that was Alejandro Ibarra. So that will do it for the first quarter of play. The teams will change sides. And while they're doing that, we're going to take a quick break here on East LA Sports Scene. Crenshaw in white versus Roosevelt in gold. We'll be right back with the next play. Okay, here we go. Back to the action. 3rd and 5 here for the Cougars. First game of the season for Crenshaw. Bennett, option. Oh, good tackle from behind. Oh, Andrade. Beautiful, beautiful tackle there. Caught Bennett on by surprise. There was nobody that put a block on Andrade. He just skirted right through the defense there and dropped him. And it's short of a first down. Let's call it 4th and about 5. Bennett back in punt formation. Number 15 on his jersey. And back to receive will be Andrade for the Riders. Back at his own, let's call it 48-yard line. There's a wobbler going ahead. And, good roll there for Crenshaw. And it's going to be spotted at about the 33-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Riders. So the Riders, again, with their third, let's call it their third possession of the game. But no score yet. Let's see how Coach Baral does here. Sequence. He's able to put in substitutes and get them the playing time that they so badly need. And again, let's give you the refereeing crew. The referee, Robert Greer. Umpire, Pedro Gomez. Head linesman, Mike Lyman. Line judge, Keon Smith. And back judge is Bradley Bob. Okay, here come the Riders. Back up to the line of scrimmage here. 11:05 left in the half. Double wing formation. Only one wing back in motion. Alfaro gets the call. Still going. Oh, and works his way with his power all the way up to, let's call it the 48-yard line. Or 45-yard line, 45. Alfaro's doing very well here, along with Andrade. And Johan, Johan Alfaro, full name there. Riders back to the line of scrimmage. Riders been able to control the line of scrimmage for their runners, getting them 5 yards and 4 yards a pop. Alfaro again. And he's going to be brought down from behind, short of the first down. And it's going to bring up 3rd, and let's check it. Third. Yeah, the down marker showing the 2nd down. Okay, let's go 2nd and about 5. A long 5 here for the Riders. Starting to get a little nippy, a little breezy here in the stadium. And folks have brought that extra windbreaker out just in case. Evenings can be cool here in September. Oh, Arroyo missed the call there, and they'll be penalized. Another offside penalty. Unofficially the 4th penalty against Roosevelt. 2 major and 2 minor. Nonetheless, still a penalty. And let's go for the 3rd, maybe the 4th possession unofficially. And basically it's been pretty even. If we don't have the first touchdown of the game on the first possession by Crenshaw, we basically have an even game. However, that is not the case. Crenshaw up on top, 8-0, Roosevelt with the ball. Pitch, handoff, Alfaro again. Let's see.
Alfaro with the carry, close to a first down lead.
He's driving. Close to first down. It's going to bring up 3rd and call it 2. Coach Paral likes that ground game, calling number 25 on the right dive, right sweep play. Again, in that line there, you've got Leonard, you've got Horton, Thomas, Wilson, Kane for Crenshaw up on that front line, stacked up against the Riders. And there's Alfaro again. Ooh, look out. Hello, number 34. Introduced himself there. That was Trevor Lewis basically stopping him with a shoulder tackle. And we look at that play there again. It's a big, a huge tackle. And was not good enough to stop Alfaro, who's had about the last 5 carries for the Riders on the ground game. Let's call it 8:25 left. Clock is running here in the first half of play. Vasquez is number 10. He's at the tight end. Can be used as a wingback. Arroyo at fullback. Pitch. Here comes to Andrade. Sweeping. Has an opening. And he's rolled out of bounds, as you saw right there. Good camera shot there as Andrade, with good running skills, knocked out of bounds at about the 18-yard line. So the Roosevelt Rough Riders hanging tough in here with the Crenshaw Cougars. As the clock stop on the play going out of bounds. In the secondary for Crenshaw, we've got Andrew Lynn, number 14, to Jay Avery, and number 15, Zion Bennett. Back to the line of scrimmage come the Riders. Now double wing formation. Andrade goes to the tight end on the left side. Vasquez slipped the tackle. Still going. No whistle yet. Now allow him. Forward progress with a very good carry there. Very productive for the Riders. They're moving Crenshaw backwards, which is good. You want the offense to show some dominance on the lines with their blocking schemes.
Ball handles number 10, Slade, pushes forward, picks up about 5.
And that was Vasquez on the carry. Very good effort. Picked up 5 yards. And the Riders showing their lineup here. It's very good. It's got a lot of experienced players thus far into the season. Cortez inside trap to Alfaro, who's nearly tackled in the backfield for a loss, but gets back up to the line of scrimmage. Again, the front line in there on offense at center, Daniel Butron, anchored over to the side by Alejandro Ibarra and Freddy Perez, and then Osman Cerezo, and then Daniel Cuevas, 75, with the white sleeves, 300-pound lineman at right tackle. That's why the sweeps are going right, because of Cuevas. Alfaro. Andrade. Oh, it cuts in. Oh, it's at the 10, the 5. Oh, is he near the touchdown? Oh, Andrade. Big run there again by Jared Andrade. Clock is running, 6:35 left in the half. Riders now sensing and feeling, smelling, thinking touchdown here against Crenshaw. Another first down, unofficially 5 first downs, maybe 6 for the Riders. 8-0, they trail. But they're knocking on the door of opportunity, of scoring opportunity. Cortez at quarterback. Pitch. Andrade sweeping. Oh, he gets to the corner, touchdown. 6:03. The Riders get up on the board at 6:03. We'll call it unofficially from the press box area about a 4-yard sweep. Number 5, J.A. Jared Andrade. And it's going to be, let's see what Coach Paral does. Whether he goes for the 2-point conversion to tie it. And the Riders are back out. Big play call here. Alfaro's in there. Pitch comes to Alfaro's way, finds a block. Oh, got stood up there, but managed to get in. And we have ourselves a brand new ball game. 8-8 on Alfaro, 2-point conversion. But getting credit for the 6 was J.A. Jared Andrade and Johan Alfaro. The J.A.'s double here repeat themselves with the initials: Johan Alfaro and Jared Andrade. 8-8. And the special teams come back on the field here. So that's got to give the Roosevelt Rough Riders some big confidence that they marched down the field and were not penalized to any great degree. So give them credit for stabilizing their aggressiveness on offense and avoiding the penalty calls, and of course the infractions for offsides or illegal movements. Okay, let's see who's going to kick off for the Riders. Number 41 will approach it, and that's going to be Angel Nolasco. Angel Nolasco will be kicking off for Roosevelt. Let's see what he might do with it in terms of kicking it deep, or maybe even in the onside kick. In the last 2 seasons, we've seen the Riders special units work on that onside kick, and very favorably working in their favor. Make no mistake about that. They practice that onside kick very well. Coach Alfaro thinking all through the concepts of a game. And there's a deep kick. Oh, going back to about the 10-yard. Oh, he dropped it. Still in play. Down the right side. Look out. Oh, the speed burner. Look out. Will he be caught or not? Pushed out of bounds. No. Oh, my goodness. A 90-yard unofficially. 91-yard return by number 21. If it stands, number 21 will get. That is Marlon Wilson, a 90-yard kickoff return. Lightning strikes right back at Roosevelt at 5:50 left in the half. Unofficially now, 91-yard kickoff return. 21 makes the score now 14-8. And there's no rest for the weary. Roosevelt had no time there on special teams to recover after Wilson dropped it. That might have been just the extra step that he needed to pick up momentum with the defense out of rhythm, so to speak, on the special teams coverage. And once he broke through the pack back at the 30 or 40-yard line, he was gone. There was only one defender left to try and stop him, and he could not keep up. And there's 22 going over right tackle for the two-point conversion, and he stopped. Two-point conversion, no good. 14-8. Almost a repeat of last week against Lincoln. That was the scoring rhythm in last week's game against Lincoln. So the Riders still in this ball game by all means, but again, on that carry for Crenshaw on the extra point, two-point conversion was Greg Jones, number 22. So special teams come back on, and when they do that, we will return in just a moment. This is East LA Sports Scenes, coverage of high school football Thursday Night Lights. Okay, and here we are now, special teams back out on the field. And let's keep our eye on Crenshaw's kickoff. Again, did not use a kicking tee. He's going to hold it, place it right there, horizontally to him as a kicker. And that might be trouble for the Roosevelt special teams. Set to kick off is number 35. And there it is on the ground, just like it in baseball, grounding into or down the field. But special teams for Crenshaw, number 35 was the kicker. That was Sherweden Baptiste. Sherweden, J initial Baptiste, Baptise. Good field position for the Riders. Let's see if they're feeling it again with the rhythm of the run. Again, very seldom, or in percentage-wise, maybe 2% passing from Roosevelt. They're really on the ground with a double wing. And Crenshaw trying to adjust to it. Here comes Andrade again, trying to get outside. Good stiff arm. Oh, look out, Bennett knifing in from the secondary. And look for him as a complete player on offense and defense. He knows how to slip tackle on the runners. So Andrade was successful in getting around the first lineman that got through, but Bennett had a beat on him and just drilled down and came in and made a very good stop on the play. Again, Thursday night lights here, weekend before Labor Day weekend. And we hope everyone's going to have a very good holiday period coming up. Okay, in motion. And there's no hole. Going nowhere is the Roosevelt runner. That looked like Alfaro. They clogged up the middle there in the front four for Crenshaw. So again, Roosevelt with their linemen paying dividends here on the run. And scoring again was Jared Andrade, and he had one last week as well on a big 35-yard blast against Lincoln. So Jared Andrade, 2 games in a row with very good scoring opportunities. The Riders at the line of scrimmage, all gold with cardinal numerals and piping on their jerseys. Alfaro goes left, got through the line there on a reverse pivot. And then in on the stop for Crenshaw, number 14, Andrew Wynn. Andrew came up out of his cornerback position. 4th and 1 here for the Riders. Trying to follow the language here of the public address announcer here at Roosevelt. Also keeping the crowd informed. And I got to say, it's a very large crowd tonight. We can't really tell from our viewpoint the entire length of the stands here on the home field for Roosevelt, but they're all filled up. We'll get a picture of that later. But here are the Riders. Big backfield now, going to the I formation. Cortez, looks like he's still going. Oh, did he keep the ball though? If he did, it's the first down. And he gave it to Arroyo, the fullback. So a very precise play there. And Roosevelt right there picking up the first down. So add another credit to their first downs. Unofficially 7 here in the first half for Roosevelt. Clock now factor coming up at the 2:55 mark in the half. 14 to 8. Andrade has room. Oh, brought down finally there. If he could have shaken that tackler. And number 23 jumped out into that play. And number 23 said, let me have a shot at him. That was Ty Taylor, T.Y. Taylor, Taylor. Head coach Robert Garrett for the Crenshaw Cougars. This is their first game of the 2021 season, or the 2021 season, because it's here in the fall, still in COVID, but we do have high school sports back. Cortez gives it to his running back. Oh, and that's Arroyo. That seems to be one of the big key factors here for Coach Baral.
One minute, gentlemen. Have it.
Stay low, man. Stay low. Stay low.
Get ready to your pass rush. Don't need your fire stick. Go! Woo! Oh my God!
Okay, we're back here. We might have just missed a little bit of that kickoff. Let's see what the referee is indicating. What we are going to have to do here is possibly re-kick that. But to describe what happened, Roosevelt did kick off, but it was an onside kick, and it was successfully picked up by Arroyo on a bounce, and he just ran it forward. And Crenshaw totally not prepared for that. But something happened along the way. Or you see the ball now right there at about the 40, can't see the yard markers, but it's right at about the 45-yard line, 44-yard line. Crew chief tonight, Robert Greer, and they're going to give the ball to Crenshaw at the midfield area.
8 seconds left in the half.
And we're going to have to get an interpretation of that hopefully by halftime and find out what happened. 1st and 10 for Cougars. Out of the shotgun, there is number 15, the quarterback, rushed out of the pocket, to be on his feet. Look out. Open field tackle. It looks like that might have been Andrade.
Timeout call.
Over in that area. Possibly number 80. It could have been Ben Salinas. 29 seconds left in the half. But there was a quarterback running for clear territory. That was Zion Bennett. And it looks like Crenshaw took a timeout very quickly. 29 seconds left in the half. 14-14 to score now. And that came on the drive there by the Riders. Roughly went about 40, 50 yards. They kept it on the ground all the way. A lot of damage done by Andrade with sweeps along with Alfaro. And they hit pay dirt in the end zone to tie the game at 14, but failed to go ahead with a 2-point conversion. No good. Then there was a kickoff, and we're going to have to review that play because it was a successful onside kick by Roosevelt. We'll analyze that for you, hopefully at halftime, if not, in post-game. Okay, here we go. Crenshaw. Big formation in the backfield. Bennett. Oh, ball got fumbled. Look out, Roosevelt picked it up. And there's a fumble now by the Cougars. And with 24 seconds at the 50-yard line. So the Riders do have one final possession before the half. So this time they get it via the fumble. And we thought they might have had it by recovery of the onside kick. So the fates are smiling down on the Riders, and the Guardian Angels certainly looking out for them with that play there. Riders now have maybe a couple of opportunities here with 24 seconds to get downfield in a hurry. Let's see what Coach Paral comes out with his playbook and gives to his team. Okay, at quarterback. There he is. Pitch. No, it's going to be roll out. Throws it deep over. Oh, he overthrows. Oh, he had him open. Andrade was open, but Cortez, he had plenty of time, so it's a good look. Another good look shown to Crenshaw. And probing around for some weaknesses in the secondary, and Coach Paral saw one there. Cortez just put a little too much air under the ball. It's incomplete. The clock stops with 21 seconds. Clock is stopped. Riders have the ball coming back. And they're in possession. That's a good thing. That's positive. They have the ball. Double wing formation. Let's see what Coach put. We are set to go. We're going to give you a quick recap of the scoring here in the ball game. Okay, very quickly in the first quarter on the first possession for Crenshaw at 10:23, 51-yard touchdown on a gigantic bomb that went from Bennett to his receiver Thomas. 2-point conversion was good. Then coming back in the second quarter at 6:03, the Rough Riders got up on the board and scored on a 5-yard, let's call it roughly a 5-yard run by Andrade. And that made 2-point conversion was good, 8-8. And then they scored again. Both teams did. Crenshaw on a 91-yard kickoff return, followed by a 5-yard run again by Andrade. 2-point conversion was good, and that's 14-14. Okay, we're back and ready to go. Roosevelt again deferring for the second half. They're going to get it to start. And the ground game has been going very well for the Rough Riders and Coach Aldo Paral. They get it now to start the third quarter. Back to receive. Number 88 and 34 for Roosevelt. Let's give you their names here. '34 is going to be Julian Cepeda, and 88, Alan Ortiz. The Twins receivers there for the Riders, back at about, let's call it their 20-yard line. Here comes the kicker for Crenshaw. It's on a tee this time. It's going to be driven down at the 20, maybe the 30. And Gomez caught it, and then he's brought down very quickly there by number 23 on special teams for Crenshaw. And let's see, 23 again, Ty Taylor, special teams, Crenshaw. And here we go now. Roosevelt with the ball. Had the opportunity to go ahead on their touchdown or after the touchdown, a 2-point conversion, but they missed. And therefore, we have the game knotted at 14-14. Cortez at the quarterback spot. Right behind him, Arroyo. Alfaro on the left wing, moving. Inside trap reverse. It goes to Andrade. And no going there. Crenshaw waited and timed their attack on defense. And getting up off the pile last, number 14 for the Cougars. And that was Andrew Wynn. He's having himself a very good ball game tonight. He's got his nose into that pack where the runners are going and heading. An injured player down on the field. Let's see who that is, if we can describe him for you. It looks like it's 54 for the Rough Riders, and we'll get you that player right now. He's a starter. That's Freddie Perez. Freddie Perez, one of the interior linemen on offense. And there you see Crenshaw with the knee, taking the knee, but facing their coach over there for some instructions. And you'll see the Roosevelt teammates there also on their knee in tribute to the injured player. So let's hope that he's going to be fine and that he'll be helped off the field or can come off the field on his own power. Looking at the below the knee, but it's very difficult to tell. The medical staff nurse looking at the right ankle. You see his right hand on that ankle. And they're going to try and bring him up now. Coach Paral heads out there to help his player. And here comes 54, Freddie Perez. He's going to have to be substituted for. He's a gamer. He's going to try to hobble off the field here with the assistance of two medical trainers or medical staff here for the Roosevelt Rough Riders. Let's hope that they can possibly tape it up for him, try to get him back to health. And they'll give him a spot on the bench. Also not playing tonight, number 2, Julian Quesada. Injury last week. And also number 40, Trujillo, injured list. Second and 11 for the Riders. Pitch, Andrade. Still, spins and does a pivot. And number 17 for the Riders will bring him down. So Jared Andrade getting lots of work. 17 is Daryl Kane for Crenshaw. Nice brisk evening here in Boyle Heights, California. The breeze is going, and we're seeing the flags here up on the bleachers blowing towards the east. Good turnout tonight from the crowd. I'm not sure if we were able to get a picture yet of our crowd. At some point, we're going to try and get that for you. It looks like it's a very healthy sized crowd tonight here at Roosevelt. Across the field, we see some rooters there for Crenshaw. Pitch, Vasquez. Vasquez draws a lot of players to him. Maintains possession of the ball. And in there, gang tackling for Crenshaw, the interior linemen. You got a Wilson, Leonard, Kane, Allen, and Horton, along with Thomas for Crenshaw. It's going to bring up, let's call it now. Can't see the down marker. Special teams back in. Nolasco is the punter for the Riders. Back in single formation, we have the Crenshaw person. Looks like Bennett, number 15. Still driving forward. And down there on the ground, Nazir Reed, number 11. He's in on the tackle. One of the first men to hit him. But Bennett, the quarterback, Zion, his first name, in punt formation and brought it forward. And got a couple of blocks and got a healthy return there, at least let's call it 20 yards. Crenshaw's ball now, 1st and 10. Now speaking in the second half. Tie ball game, 14-14. 9 minutes and 29 seconds left in the third quarter. Cougars come up to the line of scrimmage, shotgun formation. Bennett, handoff. Number 22 got the call, and number 22 delivers. Straight ahead, that's Greg Jones. Ibarra and Salinas. Coming up, number 80, Ben Salinas for Roosevelt. And Ibarra is in there as well, number 50. Second and let's call it 8. 8.5. Bennett dropping back, airs it out deep again. And is the receiver there? No flag. Oh, now they're throwing the flag. Oh my goodness. Play was over and then the flag came out for pass interference. What is he going to call here? The play was over. Ball had hit the ground and then the flag came out. So a little lag time there on that call. But it will be marked off against Roosevelt. So now Crenshaw possibly has found a sore spot there for Roosevelt on their deep coverage, man-to-man. Well, there was 2-on-1 coverage, so they were not fooled. They both were going after the lone receiver down the left side, as the Cougars favor the left side of the field for long passes. 1st and 10 for Cougars. Oh, Bennett gives it over to Jones. Jones stiff arms one of the riders, and then stiff arms another defender, Arroyo, before he's knocked out of bounds by the gang of Roosevelt Rough Riders. And that's going to bring him all the way down to, let's call it see where the down marker is. The yard marker is down at about the 20-yard line. So Jones putting on the brute force there as a running back. He's just pounding the defenders that come after on his feet with good balance and strength. Double wideouts here to the right for Bennett. One in the slot and one in the far side. Hand up to Jones again. Just gathering steam as Andrade could not bring him down one-on-one. He just sidestepped him. Gain of about 5 at the least for the Cougars. 14-14, 7:55 and counting here for the third quarter. Cougars now with some momentum. Riders need to stiffen up here on defense or possibly poke that ball loose from one of the runners and cause a fumble. Crenshaw, big line up front. Bennett gives it to fumble. Ball got on the ground. Looks like Roosevelt was there. Roosevelt. Yes, he was there. Ball carrier. Woo! Were we just speaking about that? That's what the Riders needed, just as the doctor ordered from our perspective. But the runner was Andrew Wynn, number 14. And that was a call that went to him, but he got it poked loose. We're going to have to look at the film there and see who did that. But it had to be somebody coming up from the secondary from Roosevelt. It might have been Andrade or Arroyo. And now the Riders back in control with possession. 7:29, the clock had stopped on the change of possession. And it's going to be 1st and 10. Coming off the field is going to be Alfaro, number 25. Vasquez checked into the game for him, number 10. There's Roosevelt. And let's see who got the call there. Going on the right side, that was Andrade.
Picks up about 4 or 5. Second down.
And it's going to bring up second down, and let's call it 6 for Roosevelt. Again, 14-14 tie. Crenshaw coming in to make a Wow, a long-awaited appearance here from the Coliseum League over to the Eastern League. We haven't seen Crenshaw. We have seen Garfield, though, make the trip over to we have seen Crenshaw make the trip over to Garfield on a home and home. Roosevelt. Look out, the confusion in the background. Alfaro got stacked up with his own man, and then he got finished off by the Crenshaw Cougars. 55 gets credit in there for the stop. Along with 21, that's Wilson and Scott. No, check that. Scott, 75. Chris Scott, 75. So again, Tyler Lewis, 65. William Thomas, 77. Darnell Horton, 51. These are Crenshaw players on the defensive line. Bunch formation out of the wing T. And heading up the right side of the field, looks like that was Alfaro. Oh, check that, Arroyo. It's hard to see the numbers once the bodies start getting in the way there because they're going behind the offensive line, and then the defenders jump in from the side, so it's hard to see the number. And out of that bunch backfield, it's hard to pick up where the ball is. They're so tight that it's very difficult where the hands are moving. But it was enough for a first down. First down Riders going from the south to the north. From our right to the left, here comes Andrade. Oh, good run there. Healthy run. And he's brought down by Kane, number 17. And Kane moved in from his linebacking spot. Give Andrade credit for about 8 yards on the carry. Andrade looking, closing in on the 100-yard total rushing mark, giving him back-to-back games with that mark of 100 yards plus, which is a good sign for a ball carrier. And, of course, his offensive line. 34 now in at the fullback spot. And that's Cepeda. And his first name, Julian. So he's getting some playing time, relieving Arroyo for the fullback position. There you see number 9 coming back in, Arroyo. And let's give you some other numbers here for the Riders. We have names yet. But they come up to the line of scrimmage. 3rd and about 3. 3rd and 3 for the Riders. Andrade got it. Oh, puts his helmet down. It looks like he is over the first down yard spot. Roughly, let's call it at the 39-yard line. Let's see where they spot it.
Short of the first down, it'll be 4th down and 1.
4th and 1. Look out. Bad spot there by the official. Looked like Andrade had gotten up to almost to the 50-yard line. Coming again to you on EastLASportsScene.com and East LA Sports Scene Productions. Our crew tonight, Frankie Robles, videographer, and Ricky Siementhal as our production assistant. Roosevelt, big play. Alfaro. Oh, he's going to be short. Looks like he might be short. Or will they call for a measurement? But Alfaro was a ball carrier. First down. Referee there signaling first. By inches. Robert Greer, crew chief, the referee in the white hat, has a crew of 4. Back judge, side judge, line judge, and head linesman. They're going to have to move the chains now. On the far side of the field. Cortez Andrade, good move. Tried to cut it back, but not buying it was number 13 for Crenshaw. And that would be, let's see if he's on our roster here, of number 13. If not, it was number 23. Oh, 13, excuse me. Raya Thomas. He's also a wide receiver. Here he is on the far side right in front of us. He's got credit for the the huge bomb that was scored by Crenshaw in the first series of the game.
Second down and 9.
Second and 9. Pineda. Check that. Cepeda, 34 in at fullback. Julian Cepeda. Cortez a quarterback. Andrade right wing back.
Timeout call on the field.
And they're going to take a timeout on the field.
Call by Roosevelt.
The Riders are going to talk things over, and with that, we will be back after the break. This is East LA Sports Scene's coverage of high school game of the week, Roosevelt versus Crenshaw. Here we go now, back to the action. 2:33 left in the third quarter. Andrade is going to go right. Broke a tackle. Going. Got positive yardage.
Number 5, Andrade.
But he was nearly tackled in the backfield early, but there's a flag.
Short holding call.
And they're going to, oh, here comes the flags out now. But this is the first penalty of the half for the Riders. They had 4 in the first half unofficially. Crenshaw had a couple. First downs, we had 7 for Roosevelt. And then we had, 4 for Crenshaw. And they had possessions of at least 5 each for both schools. So it's pretty even when you look at the stat sheet. Okay, major penalty, and that puts Roosevelt back on their own approximately. Arroyo at fullback, right behind Cortez. Cortez kept it. Look out. Oh, check it out. We went the wrong way. Oh, my goodness. Number 9, Arroyo. A counter play. Oh, my goodness. We thought that Cortez had kept it. That's, oh, my goodness gracious. What a play. Good play call there by Coach Baral. And that was Cortez who really put the fake on the Crenshaw lineman. And Arroyo must have stood his ground just for a second and then took off. He was untouched until the final, let's call it from the 30, so he goes down to the 20. So just do the math there. 50 yards on the carry. Cortez lighting up the crowd here. And there is Andrade trying to jump over tacklers. And there's going to be several players down on the field. That's going to be number 56 for the Riders. That's Osman Cerezo. He's going to be slow in getting up, and the medical unit's going to head back out there. And what that's going to do is give us just a little bit of time here to speak about our sponsors here at the Los Angeles Business Source Eastern Region. And again, the LA Business Source Center, LABSC, operated by Badio Planners Incorporated. BPI provides a wide range of services to the business community. Its primary function is to provide entrepreneurs and small business owners the needed tools to make their business a success. Their assistance is available to businesses and residences located in the city of Los Angeles. Badio Planners Incorporated is an East LA based operation with 40-plus years of experience in the fields of architecture, landscaping, planning, design, and economic development. With its close ties to the local business community, BPI has established a superior track record in providing technical assistance and stimulating economic vitality in the greater LA area. Call them during business hours Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. at 323-264-9020. That's 323-264-9020. Let them know you heard and saw the announcement on East LA Sports Scene. And say hello to Ralph Carmona, a graduate of Roosevelt High School, and his colleague Ruben Sanchez, a graduate of Garfield at the Bulldogs. Okay. Back to the action. They've taken Cerezo off the field. He's an offensive lineman. And let's see what Cortez does here. Pitch, Andrade looks for a sweep. He gets into the hole there and gets crunched. Tackler's waiting for him there on that sweep. Positive yardage, though, for the Riders. They have opportunities here to gain a first down, roughly, I'd say, within the 5-yard line. But it's going to bring up third and about 6 for Roosevelt.
Third down.
Coming up to the 1-minute mark here left in the third quarter. Knocking on the door of opportunity again, the Roosevelt Rough Riders. This would be a big win for Coach Paral and his team and his coaching staff as well. Let's see if they can maintain the momentum and get themselves into scoring position. And it goes to the right side. Cortez doing a great job of faking the handoff, or giving the handoff and then faking after he gets rid of it. Looks like he still may have it in his arm. But the ball went off to his right side on the wing back and does not gain very much. Number 20 in for the Riders. That's Jimmy Morales, number 20. Been shuffled in and out of the lineup tonight by Coach Paral. Riders break the huddle. Daniel Butron, number 51, he's right there at center. Whistle.
And that sounds
the
end of the third quarter.
That is the end of quarter number 3. 14-14, no score
Fourth down about 7
in the third quarter. So,
from about the 15-yard line.
but we had some big plays, we had fumbles, and we had a huge, we'll call it, let's see, 50 yards from the 20 yards maybe. 50 yards to 60 yards for Arroyo on that very disguised play just moments ago. So big gainers and fumbles can describe the third quarter, but no score. So it's still 14-14 as we start the fourth and final quarter of tonight's contest between the Coliseum's representative, Crenshaw Cougars, and the Eastern League's Roosevelt Rough Riders. Been a very good game, entertaining game here for both schools. And let's see if we can get a crowd shot while we're waiting for the start of the fourth and final quarter, just to give our viewers an opportunity to see that COVID has not, totally eliminated fan participation. It's coming back slowly but surely, but face masks are mandatory here on all LA Unified School District campuses. And there you have a big wide pan from our videographer, Franklin Robles, and we're back to the action here for Roosevelt, going now to our right. And there goes Cortez on the keeper. Oh, he's going to be near the first down marker down at the 10-yard line, but he was really ridden down by the Cougars who were in hot pursuit.
Quarterback
Cortez on an option, and he kept it. Let's see where they're going to spot that ball, whether he's in first down territory or not. They may have to measure. Oh, my goodness. That was a 4th and 1. And they're going to have to give the ball back to Crenshaw. That was a 4th down call. 4th and 1, and Cortez just couldn't get it over the first down stripe or the on the 10-yard line. So it might have been a difference of a couple of inches, but they did not call for a measurement. At most, I would have asked for a measurement. Anyway, Roosevelt now back on defense. Let's see if they can force another fumble. Bennett throws it out here to his receiver. He'll be wrestled down there after a gain of about 5 yards. Make that 7. It's going to be 2nd and 3. Over in that vicinity, we have several riders. Vasquez was in on that stop. And also number 20 for the Riders. That was Jimmy Morales. 2nd and 3 for the Cougars. Handoff. Oh, with a big full head of steam. Just bolting his way through. Thundering upfield was number 22 again. He's a very, very powerful runner.
22 for Crenshaw with the carry, picks up a first down for Crenshaw.
And he was just powering his way through. That's Jones, Greg Jones. Very, very talented runner there with power and speed behind him. Crenshaw in the formation. Bennett is going to roll left. Tries to cut back to the right. Still on his feet. And then finally hit and brought down. Number 6 for the Riders. Put a stop on him. That was a Christian Beltran. Slowed him up a little bit, and then he got finished off by the secondary from Roosevelt, but enough for the first down. 10 minutes and 35 seconds left in the game. Roosevelt just missed out on a great opportunity on their last possession. Did not make the first down. Bennett, hands off. And waiting to tackle was Alejandro Ibarra, number 50. It's going to bring up, let's call it, where this down marker is, 2nd and about 8.5.
2nd down at 9.
And here comes Crenshaw now. Zion Bennett at quarterback, number 15. Whistle sounds.
Timeout call.
So someone wants to.
On the field by Crenshaw.
The Crenshaw Cougars want to take a timeout for a minute here and get things back in order. They have the ball. Plenty of time left in the ball game with 9 left. And with that timeout, we shall also step away just for a minute or two and come right back. This is East LA Sports Scene's coverage of the high school game of the week, Roosevelt versus Crenshaw. Okay, we are coming back to the action. Coach Paral had a conversation with the crew chief, the referee, Bob Greer. Bennett gives it to his, oh, look out. Still plowing forward, just leaving in his wake tacklers. And Jones is the runner. He is like a speeding bullet or a freight train, however you want to call it, but he certainly picks up yardage every time he carries the ball. Greg Jones, number 22, not a starter, but he's seen plenty of action for Coach Garrett here at Crenshaw. This is Crenshaw's first game of the season. Roosevelt has played 2 already. They're 1-1, and Crenshaw looking for their first win. Bennett stops. Oh, look out. He's going to be ganged up and tackled. Still going and finally brought down 55 in on the stop. That's Daniel Boutron. Big loss. But they're going to spot him where his forward progress is at about, let's call it the 48. But Zion Bennett didn't have anywhere to go. The defenders poured through the line and led by Boutron, 55.
2nd down at about 15.
2nd and 15 for the Cougars. 8:44 left in the contest. Wide out here coming all the way to the left. And there's a wide out only on the left side. Bennett is looking left. He's going to throw deep. Got a receiver. No good. Oh, my goodness. He was open. 14 was wide open for the Cougars, and he caught that. He might have taken it down to the goal line. Give him credit to Andrew Wynn, number 14. And on offense, you've got Lewis, 34, Leonard, 52, Thomas, 77, Horton, 51, Lewis, 65, Scott, 75, Kane, 17, Bennett at quarterback, 15, Wilson, 21, Wynn, 14, and Thomas, number 13. Those are the offensive players for the Cougars. There's a snap. Bennett dropping back, looking right, deep. Oh, that might be picked off. And it is. It's Gomez. Still going. Finally brought down. Big turnover here by Crenshaw. Gabriel Gomez, give him credit for the pick. And he brought it back with some authority. Brought it back over 20 yards. Unofficially 25 yards on the interception. Number 18 was on double coverage. He must have read something in the offensive scheme by the Cougars. And the defensive coordinator had him positioned in the right spot at the right time. So the Riders now have another opportunity. There's Boutron, number 55, over center. Cepeda, 34 at fullback. Pitch, here he comes. Oh, he picks it up, and that's Andrade. Check that. 25, Alfaro. I saw the 5 in there, but a 30-yard pickup there by Johan Alfaro. J.A. number 2. There's J.A. Andrade, number 1, and J.A. Alfaro, number 2. That's how we'll keep him in perspective here. But Alfaro stepping his game up big time. He's also nearing the 100-yard mark in terms of total rushing yards. So the double wing, if you're not used to seeing it very often, it could cause you problems. And it seems like the Crenshaw Cougars have experienced that particular fate, trying to defend against a double wing offense with some different wrinkles thrown in to measure. Cortez, Andrade. Cortez kept it and does just a basic quarterback keeper sneak up the field, maybe gain a yard or two. And as they unpile, that's going to take some time off the clock. 7 minutes and 10 seconds left here in the game. Scores tied, 14-14. It's been a great game here to call. Both teams basically even Steven, so to speak. But give credit now for Gabriel Gomez, the man of the hour, for that big interception by the Riders. Cortez, pitch, Andrade. Oh, he's got a block. Still going, and then his forward progress is going to stop him. Still going, the referee whistles down to about the 10-yard line. Andrade showing his skills as a running back. Doing good, 2 games in a row we've seen him, and he's been producing. Yes, he has. So far, so good. Had a fumble last week, but then played great defense, and he kind of compensated on that. And this week he has not fumbled. He's held that ball tight. Tight as a drum, so to speak. And here comes the Roosevelt Rough Riders, 1st and 10 from the 10. Cortez, Andrade, fouled his blocker. Down inside near the goal line, maybe a yard away. Good pickup there by Andrade. Most likely at the 125-yard mark in total rushing yards, unofficially. 2nd and goal. Let's see where that marker is.
2nd down and 5.
2nd and 5.
From about the 10-yard line.
Okay, 2nd and 5. They can still make a first down. Line of scrimmage was at the 15. Check that. Timeout now is going to be called. Let's see if Crenshaw is taking the timeout. The goal line stand there is going to be talked about here. And Coach Garrett will give instructions. And while they do that, we'll step away and come back after the timeout. This is East LA Sports News coverage of high school game of the week, Roosevelt versus Crenshaw. 2nd and 5 for the Riders. Cortez, pitch. Alfaro got speed. He's got opening. Broke a tackle. And let's see, did he get in or not? Or did he make it into the end zone? He's short. Okay. First down. Beautiful run by Alfaro. He swept right. And he had the blockers. Big 75, Daniel Cuevas and company leading the charge in terms of the O-line. No guts, no glory, as Coach Dickey Guillen left his motto here and is saying with the Rough Riders. The late Coach Dickey Guillen passed away in January of this year. Okay, up to the line of scrimmage. Here come the Riders. And great opportunity here to punch it in. Cortez, he keeps it, pushes in. And let's see whether the arms go up or not. Touchdown, 1 yard, quarterback. Comes at 5:03 left in the game. Beautiful play there, called by Coach Baral and his offensive coordinators, putting their faith and their stock there in Cortez. Quarterback keeper, one of the fundamental plays there in football. Here comes a Rough Rider flag, building up steam and building up more joy in Riderville here for the touchdown. Let's see what Coach Baral elects to do here. 41's coming in, and he's been seen already here. That's Angel Nolasco. He does the kicking chores for the Riders. Let's see if he can convert on a point after. Cortez to hold. Has it. Kick is up. And it is good. Nolasco. So Coach Baral goes the safe way and takes the PAT with the kick. So now we have our score at 21-14 in favor of the Roosevelt Rough Riders. We'll be back in a moment with the kickoff. This is East LA Sports Scene. Okay, we're coming back, and Nolasco, the man of the moment here with that point after. Magical in terms of 1 point, but it counts. 7-point lead here for the Rough Riders to see how the defense can hold with the threat of the Crenshaw Cougars written all over their playbook. They can come up with a number of ways to hurt you on the ground or in the air. Let's see what Nolasco will do here. Number 41, big play here for Coach Baral. Here comes, it's going to be a short punt taken right there by number 13. You got to be careful. He's going to try and get around the far side. Oh, still going, finally knocked out of bounds. Very dangerous runner there, number 13 for the Cougars. Now, we've called his name out quite a bit, Raya Thomas, R-A-I-Y-A. He was a player that caught the 51-yard touchdown bomb for the Cougars' first score of the game back at the 10:23 mark of the game. It just barely got, fans had just barely got into the seats when the bomb struck. But the Riders now giving up a short kick and then a big return. The ball's going to be spotted at the 41-yard line. Great field position for Crenshaw. And there's a whistle. And Coach Baral wants to talk things over here on the timeout. And with that, again, we'll take our customary timeout here on East LA Sports Scene's Game of the Week, Roosevelt versus Crenshaw. Okay, looks like we're coming back to the action. Here we go. Big play now. Bennett as a receiver, far side. He's going to be short of a first down. Lots of coverage over there.
Pass complete.
Let's see, in on that stop. Number 1,
Down about 2.
Cortez playing the corner spot over there as well, so give him credit for being in there. And you've got Gomez also as a cornerback, number 18. He's in the ball game. That's Nicholas Soria. We haven't called him too much, but he's in the ball game right now, number 30. 10 is Vasquez, number 9 Arroyo. And then we have the other front 4 of the Riders. Ibarra, Butron, Perez. No, Freddie was out, and then Cerezo, and now Oliva. Okay, here we go, Crenshaw. Bennett hands it off. And still moving forward big time was, let's call him was it 21? 21 was the ball carrier. Yes, it was. And that was, again, Marlon Wilson. We've seen him getting a lot of work, and the clock is moving now. 4:34 left in the contest. 21-14 in favor of the Roosevelt Rough Riders, playing in front of a very big house here at their home field. Crenshaw's first game of the season. Zion Bennett at quarterback. He's got 2 running backs. He's going to keep it. Bennett. And he gets good yardage, good positive yardage on a quarterback keeper. But he's got his running back, Marlon Wilson, there in the backfield as well. Going into the game, 75 is Daniel Cuevas. We got Medina, number 80, on the left side of the line. And in the backfield, Andrade. And we have number 6. That's Beltran for Roosevelt. Spread formation for Bennett. Has it, gives it off. And it's Wilson, the ball carrier, brought down there. Vasquez is there for Roosevelt. And we have Arroyo. And there's the big man, number 77, Thomas William, who helped Arroyo get up there. And a good form of sportsmanship. Clock moving, 3 minutes and 12 seconds, getting to be nitty-gritty time. Crenshaw on the drive, in the red zone. Thomas way out to the right side, flanked. The flanker, and then you have over here to the left as well. Bennett, keeper. Keeper still going, trying to get outside, cuts back in. Oh, they missed him. 2 or 3 players missed the tackle. Oh, my goodness. Touchdown, Crenshaw. Bennett, he willed himself to stay on his feet and got by the entire secondary there for Roosevelt on an excellent play there. You couldn't ask for a better run there by your quarterback. And that comes at 2:48 for Crenshaw, putting up points. Score now is 21-20. Going for possibly the game winner with a 2-point conversion. Roosevelt defense needs to step up here. Bennett, and there's offsides. Looks like there might have been a movement inside the interior line. Offsides against Crenshaw. Going to drive him back for the 2-point conversion. Let's see what Coach Garrett does now. But Bennett, Jones, or even Wilson on the ground can certainly do the job if they get the right blocks and the right scheme is in order. or they can go through the air on short yardage as well. Let's see what Coach Garrett has called. Bennett has the play now. So instead of a 2-yard conversion, they're going back to the 7-yard line.
Crenshaw still lined up for 2 points.
Still going for the 2. They'd rather come away with an effort at winning the ball game. It's a road game, but nonetheless, in good position. Bennett, look out, throws it, and it's incomplete. Incomplete. Oh, it was on the pass, but the pass was intended for Lewis, the tight end. It was a down and out and intended for his tight end, Trevor Lewis, but there was good coverage there. It might have been from Arroyo or Cortez.
Crenshaw will end up to pick it off.
21-20 is our score here, and that's a 2:44 left in the contest. Okay, special teams are in, and we're going to get ready for the final thrust here from both teams. But it's been a very, very well-played game. Some penalties that were very evident and prominent in the first half. It kind of just went by the wayside and have not had too many plays called back or a number of offsides or holding or any of those types of penalties in the second half. So the rhythm has been good. The players have finally were able to hit their rhythm. And here we are now, ready to finish up the game with the flourish. Kicking off with the tee for Crenshaw. It's going to be number 35 for the Cougars. That is Sherwedden Baptiste. Here it comes. Kick is going to be a line drive up the middle. Let's see who picks it up. Oh, he's going to take a knee. That was Vasquez. Coach Paral, very concerned about running that back and decided to take the knee there rather than risk a fumble. So it'll be Roosevelt ball, 1st and 10. Let's see where they place it. Roughly at about the 26-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Riders. So we're coming up on the 2-minute drill, 2:22 left in the ball game. 1st and 10 for the Riders. Let's see how they manage their ground game here and manage the clock. They're resetting the clock back to 2:39. 2:39. Clock did not stop when Vasquez took the knee. 1st and 10 for the Riders. They're going to need at least a first down to keep the clock on their side. So Cortez surveying the defense. Andrade has it on handoff. He's going to struggle forward for just a few yards. They're going to milk the clock here, Roosevelt, in terms of the time it takes to snap the ball for the next down. Clock is moving at 2:20. It's going to be, from our perspective of calling games, there's enough time for the Riders to be risking a 4th down here and giving the ball back to Crenshaw.
2nd down and 10.
They're going to need to maintain ball possession, and of course, if there's any timeouts that Crenshaw has, they will most likely use them.
2 minutes left in the game.
And here's Cortez again. It comes, and it's Andrade again. No gain. And it looks like players are slow to get up. Big Trevor Lewis, check number 77. Thomas for Crenshaw had played himself a very good game today. That's William Thomas. Timeout taken, and the clock stops at 1:49. We'll be back in a moment. This is East LA Sports Scene's coverage of the high school game of the week, Roosevelt versus Crenshaw. Okay, they're coming back onto the field now. Roosevelt Rough Riders in a very, very precarious situation here. Third and long, let's see, third and long. And there you see Cortez just surveying the defense. Now he scoots under center. He's going to take the snap. And he pitched the other way. To the right side was Alfaro. And he gained some yardage, but he's slow to get up. Looks like he took a pretty good hit there from the defender. Or unless it's a cramp. We're going to have to wait and see what the medical unit comes out to do here. At 1:38 left in the game. Two riders down on the field, pretty close to each other. 5 yards apart. We know that Alfaro is one. Over here we see, okay, Cortez looked like he shakes it off. He had some possible cramping situations. But Alfaro, medical team is right there with him. And let's see what the referee is going to do here. See Coach Paral talking to the referee, Robert Greer. But the focus of attention by all players now on the one knee is for Johan Alfaro, number 25. And that was a sweep right. And he got some blocks and looked like he came through here for being close to the first down. Let's see where they spot the ball right now. It's going to be fourth. And about, let's call it maybe 2.5 yards. So the Riders will have to make a decision either to keep it or punt it. Go for it or give it away or give it back to Crenshaw with a punt. But Thursday night lights are on and bright here at Roosevelt High School. And we're nearing the end of the game, and there will be no games tomorrow under the LA City section program because of the acknowledgement of the long Labor Day holiday coming up. So Alfaro gets up, or he is up, and he comes over here to be with his teammates. And this is the call here. Let's see what Coach Paral has prepared and what he's going to do. No punt formation. That means they are going for it. Vasquez at the right wing back. Cepeda. Julian is 34, the fullback. And the left wing back looks like that is Andrade, Jared. And the clock is now moving. They're waiting for some time to elapse. And they will give them the time to engage here in just a moment. Looks like neither team has any timeouts left. Clock is moving now with just 1 minute and 4 seconds. And now there is the umpire who stepped in, and let's see what they've called. The timeout with 58 seconds. 4th and 2, big play again. So 58 seconds is a lot of time left in the ball game. Again, it's been very entertaining game here from both schools and both leagues. Crenshaw again representing the Coliseum League. And of course inside is Dorsey, and Dorsey is the opponent next week for Roosevelt. Roosevelt will head over to Dorsey where they play at Jackie Robinson Stadium. And that should be a very good game as well. Head coach is Stephon Johnson, former USC player, outstanding player there. And let's see what I think they're playing tonight. And I think let's see, Crenshaw, you're kind of looking at their schedule. Let's see, they are scheduled to play, they're off next week, and they'll come back on the 17th against Loyola High School. Okay, here we go. Punt formation. Let's see if Nolasco is back. He's got it. Oh, he pops it up. It's going to be short. Oh, my goodness. Bad angle. It just went straight up. They're going to field that at about, let's call it the 47-yard line of Roosevelt. Special teams are underperforming on that play. Instead of going downfield with a long kick, actually it turned out to be maybe a kick of only 10, 15 yards. So let's see where the referee's going to spot the ball. Right in the middle of the field, officially spotted at the 49-yard line. 1st and 10 for Crenshaw. They trail by a point. Bennett has a couple of opportunities to send Thomas downfield like he did in the first quarter when they scored on that bomb from 51 yards out. So this is almost reminiscent of where they started their first series and now the last series of the game possibly. Bennett, Crenshaw, there he goes. He's dropping back, looking for a receiver. He's got number 14 open. And that was Andrew Wynn. And let's see if there's no timeouts or there are timeouts if he gets out of bounds or not to stop the clock. Pickup of about 10 yards. It's going to be 1st and 10 for Crenshaw's nervous time here. It's nitty-gritty time. Roosevelt fans are holding their breath here to see if the Riders can hold off the storm here by the Crenshaw Cougars. Crenshaw, stacked backfield. Bennett dropping back. He's going to go left. Oh, he's got a man open. Oh, right there at the number 13. A reception in the middle of the field. And Crenshaw quickly trying to get up to the line of scrimmage. Pass was caught by Raya Thomas, R-A-I-Y-A Thomas. He gets credit for the reception. Ball is going to be spotted inside the 10-yard line. 1st down. Thomas gets slow getting up, though. He's up. They're going to bring him off the field maybe for a play. But now you have to keep your eye on the ground game here from Crenshaw. You've got Jones and you've got Wilson. And here comes Crenshaw. Let's see, did the whistle sound before the snap? What do we got? Clock stopped at 19 seconds. There was their timeout called. Both teams are still on the field. Let's keep our eye on the crew chief. Crew chief over there looking at Coach Garrett. Everyone's asking how did the play materialize or what's going on here? Are they looking possibly for a field goal attempt? No,
Down and 10, 19 seconds left.
Here is Bennett now. He's got it, dropping, looking right, throws it into the end zone. It's no good.
Pass is
Incomplete.
3rd down and 10.
3rd and 10, 14 seconds left. Plenty of time to get 2 plays off. It's nervous time here in the Ryder Stadium. So it's all going to come down to maybe 1 or 2 plays here. We're all going to have an eyewitness account of this game. It's been one of the best games that we've brought to you here on East LA Sports Scene. It's just been that type of a situation. Both teams not quitting, going all the way to the end. Here's Crenshaw now with Bennett, number 15 at quarterback. Oh, the ball bounced on the ground. He's being chased. Throws it. Ball's thrown. Batted away. Fourth down with 7 seconds left, and Crenshaw not even looking for a field goal. They want to go in for the touchdown and the win. But if you have a good field goal kicker, you can still win with a 2-point cushion at the end where you put up 3 points. But they're going for the final play of the game here by Crenshaw. Riders girding themselves here for whatever is going to be thrown at them. You've got Gomez over in the far corner. We've got Cortez, number 1, in cornerback and safety. We've got Arroyo in the middle as a linebacker. All right, here comes Crenshaw, the play of the game. Let's see what they do. Throws it, a Hail Mary up, and it's going to be no good. No good. 1 second left. Riders in possession. Ball was batted away. It was a Hail Mary. He didn't throw it very strong or narrow. He threw it up in the air for his receiver. And he may have come down awkwardly. That's number 13. That is Thomas, Raya Thomas. So in the beginning, they went to him, and in the end, they went to Thomas. But unfortunately, the defense was good for the Riders, and they covered Thomas very well in the corner from our perspective. So with 1 second left, let's see what Cortez will do to take the victory knee. And stay tuned because we will have our post-game interview here with Coach Paral and with 2 of his players. Game is not over yet. It's not official. 1 second showing on the clock, 21-20. There you see the scoreboard right there for all of our viewers to calculate on their own and imagine what will happen next. There it is. That is it. The winners, the Roosevelt Rough Riders, protecting their home field, come up with a big, huge victory over the Crenshaw Cougars. And there you will see the post-game salute from Roosevelt here. You see their backs are facing the Crenshaw Cougars and head coach Bob Garrett and his team. So just be prepared now to see Crenshaw come forward out here to acknowledge the Roosevelt Rough Riders in a game that went down to the wire, all the way down to the final second. Couldn't ask for a better game, and for us to be involved in presenting you a good game here as a play-by-play and as our production crew. So again, many thanks to Franklin Robles, our videographer and producer, and our production assistant, Ricky Simenthal. So that will do it. We're going to just step away now and wait for head coach Aldo Paral to bring us 2 players, and that will wrap up our program with the interview. So don't go away. More coverage coming to you in just a moment. 3. And here we go, post game, and it's head coach Aldo Paral. Coach, big win.
Oh,
congratulations.
Wow. Thank you.
Hard fought, one of the best games that we've called, because why? It went down to the final play of the game. And there was a lot of emotion, a lot of just strategy. Coach Garrett, yourself, talking before the game.
Yes.
And just familiarizing yourselves even more. I happened to kind of be there near you guys, and it was good to know that Crenshaw was willing to come to Boyle Heights and here in East LA.
Yes.
And that was a great situation, and it turned out to be a great game. So, Coach, I couldn't have asked for a better evening on Thursday night.
Yeah.
Your take, your thoughts, your review of the game, and looking back into your playbook and the squad and the team all set. We take it from you, Coach.
Oh, thank you very much, Rico. First off, I want to say thank you to you and your team for being out here and covering us tonight.
We are very grateful that we get the opportunity to have someone of your caliber calling our games. You know what? It was just a great night. Great night. The stands were full, and the band was playing, and it was, for a Thursday night, my God, it was really, really amazing. I think that, first of all, I want to say thanks to Coach Garrett and his ball club. The Crenshaw Cougars came down here, like you said, and visited us. I think the last time they were out here was well over 20 years ago. Coach Casa played them here. Great game. I still remember that one. I think Roosevelt probably fell short, if I'm not mistaken. But you're right. The kids played really hard. Jared had a big game. Andrade Miranda had an awesome game.
Alfaro.
Alfaro also had a great game. And, as far as the offense, Rico, we only run one play, pitch right, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. And if it's working, we're just going to go with it. Crenshaw did a really good job of plugging it up every once in a while, but for the most part, we were able to get our offense going, and we were really happy. The kids just, grounded out, and tough victory. And I had to go to the bathroom, to be honest with you, and I just couldn't believe how the kids tightened up at the end and made a great goal line stand and denied Crenshaw the opportunity for victory. So it was just a beautiful, beautiful evening.
But one of the plays of the game, Coach, it caught me off guard. I one of the fans that went with the ball where I thought it was with Cortez, but Arroyo.
Yep.
Talk about that play, because that just really just gave you the momentum, supercharged back.
Yes.
And for the driving and winning touchdown, so to speak. But talk about that play.
Sure. We actually have been setting up all night, as you know. We kept on running pitch, and then we ran just a little fullback trap, and it's a huge play. The Crenshaw kids were just, their aggressiveness, we used it against them. They came hard. Freddie Perez made a great block, trapped the kid from Crenshaw, and Arroyo did a really good job. Alexander Arroyo did an awesome job by being patient, right, just kind of staying in the hole. And it was kind of funny because I remember seeing the Crenshaw players just going all the way to their left, our right on offense, and you just saw Arroyo. As a matter of fact, the referee on our side stayed on the line, and he didn't even realize that Arroyo was downfield. And sure enough, Arroyo popped out. It was like a 60-yard run. And that Crenshaw kid, did not give up and caught him from behind. But yes, you're right. It was a huge play and really gave us that momentum going forward.
And a couple of other things we saw, Coach, because the season is young and you're learning from it as well. The onside kick, your proficiency is increasing every year. We've seen it work.
Yes.
Tonight, what was the borderline call by the official? Because we thought from our perspective that he did make the 10 yards.
Yeah.
On the recovery, I believe it was Arroyo, if I'm not mistaken. But there was a lapse of time, and they said, no.
Gave it to them.
There was something that it was not, I guess, a legal play. He might have touched the ball before the 10.
He did, actually.
Something like that. Okay, so
that's all it was.
We couldn't really tell from up here. But I said, whoa, there it is. We were talking about that, how it works. And it worked to perfection, so we thought. But anyway, that was a good sign there that you caught them off guard.
Correct.
Not knowing that you could do that.
Correct. Yeah, we were very fortunate. We were able to just implement the kicking game. We have a young man, Angel Nolasco. He didn't play with us during the spring because of his the family's concerns with COVID, and he opted to come out and play for us, and he had to do his time, whatnot, and now he's good to go, and so he really added a lot to the game. His foot is he's got a big leg, and I messed up earlier in the game. I should have taken the opportunity to kick a field goal. We were probably about 10 yards out, 12 yards out.
And here we go, Jared Andrade with a repeat performance, the player of the game from Coach Aldo Parral. Big win tonight, Jared. You were very critical, and you did what you were tasked to do. Your thoughts on the game and the competitiveness that you have from Crenshaw?
Well, Crenshaw, just for having 18 players, they were a really good team. They were aggressive. None of them were gassed. They were following what we do. They really studied the film because they don't know what we'll be doing. But I just felt at our end, we didn't really have as much mistakes, but we just started slow off in the beginning. We started slow, but once we started getting our momentum, we started running down downhill on them. But without our line did good this game. They did amazing. Without them, we wouldn't be able to get the dub today what we got.
And some of the plays, we were talking with Coach about the Arroyo. That caught us totally off guard because Cortez did such a great job of concealing the ball. And there it was. I looked up, and he's already at the 50-yard line. Talk about that play.
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't even see Arroyo. I did a fake. I forgot what play it was, but I remember I had to fake it. And once I went to the outside, I turned back, and I see everyone all the way in the back of us, and Arroyo's gone. I thought he had it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then they just caught up to him.
Yeah.
But he did good. He did good at blocking and running wise.
Yeah, and that gave you guys that momentum. But during the game, you were, like they say, two fighters in the ring, really just exchanging and doing a good job in the ring, so to speak. And you guys went back and forth and back and forth, and you couldn't have asked for a better situation for the fans. Talk about the fans giving you the 12th man on the field here.
The fans helped a lot. The band, the cheerleaders, the drill team, our parents, the student section, they really helped a lot. Just hearing them cheering for us, it pumped us up a lot.
And now week number 2, so you guys are feeling like that normal. It's not totally normal yet. You still got to go through a lot of COVID situations that the fans don't see.
Yeah.
But we know that you're in good health because you're out here cleared to play. But that's got to give you guys a big positive momentum, knowing that the team is getting stronger and healthier as the weeks go by. You got another big game next week, Dorsey.
Dorsey is going to be a really good game. Top 10?
Yes. So these first 2 games, Mesas, Lincoln, and now Crenshaw, 3 games and doing very well. The chemistry and the thinking of the team now. Can you tell us how it feels?
I think this week at practice we really tried really hard this week to try to get better from last week, because last week we weren't as good as we did last week. Our line, they did good last week, but this week I think we improved more. We focused on the little things at practice that we messed up last week. And this whole week at practice was just the little things. It was just mental all week.
Okay.
So it's mental, trying to fix our little mistakes so we could do good this game. And I think that's what helped us a lot all that week of mental practice.
And as I always say, you have the last word to all of your fans, to all of your friends, teammates, classmates, family, of course, and community members. Any message for them tonight?
I want to thank the fans for coming, our everyone's parents for coming to pump us up, our cheer, drill team, the student section, the staff that helped us make this game, our coaches, and especially you guys for coming to watch us and putting us out there. I appreciate that.
Okay, and we thank you welcome. Thank you very much for putting on a tremendous performance tonight and a winning game tonight for the student body and, of course, for the community and the fans that are watching East LA Sports Scene and how we're presenting Roosevelt High School football to them. So thank you again. Good luck in preparation for next Friday, and we'll see where we are at that time, okay?
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Jared Andrade, one of the players of the game from Coach Aldo Paral, Roosevelt High School. We'll be right back with our next player. And here we are with number 18, Gabriel Gomez, and Gabriel had a big play tonight. We got to talk about that because the defense was really rising to the occasion.
Yes, sir.
Most of the game.
Yes,
it got really scary and nervous down at the last drive that they had because you gave the ball back. But talk about your play there, that big interception, I believe, early in the fourth quarter.
I have no words to say, man. At the end of the day, I don't know. I seen the ball. I seen him. He was coming towards. I seen him, and I just reacted to it automatically. I caught the ball, and I ran through.
Okay.
But at the same time, I couldn't have done it without that line, because that line, they forced that play to happen.
Yeah.
He had to throw the ball automatically because, the line rushed. So I was really, really, really proud of the line for that.
We'll talk about, because we believe from our angle it was double coverage. You were the front end, and you kind of had the better angle of where the ball was coming from. But that was double coverage on a receiver that had burned you guys early in the game.
Yes, he did.
He was flying down the sideline.
Yeah, I have to give it to that receiver. He was pretty fast, but I think I came out better.
Yeah. That was one of the turning points of the game, because you had, I believe, went back and forth. The turnovers hurt you on a fumble or whatever it was, and then you came back with the pick.
I got a little stinger, but you know what? It is what it is. I came back in and just went harder. Came back harder.
Talk about your defensive huddles with your linemen, the down line four. You know how tough it is, and then your linebacking core, because then you're the third protection, basically, and you guys are always working with each other. Talk about
I'm gonna be honest with you, sir. It's not difficult at all.
Okay.
When we're all in the mood, when we're all there, we're all there.
Okay.
And it's just like it's like in sync almost. It's like it comes together naturally. It's perfect. There's no mess ups. So I just, that play couldn't have been done without the whole defense. I don't believe it was just me.
Okay.
That play was the whole defense.
Good.
And I appreciate everybody on that play. I appreciate everybody.
Okay. And Gabriel Gomez, you're a proud Rough Rider. Talk about a little bit of your background for our fans and viewers. And where did you come up playing football? Was it here with the Wolfpack or somewhere else?
So I'm a transfer student.
Okay.
I'm actually from the IE.
Okay.
My parents, they're from here. My brother, actually, Tony Luna, he's from here too.
Okay.
I came here around last season and just was ready to ball out.
Okay.
You know, I played for a team. It's called the Empire Saints. And then my high school team that I played for in 9th grade, the Hillcrest Trojans.
Okay.
But I believe the Rough Riders are better than them. I have to say that.
Okay.
I have to say that.
You're welcome here, of course, by not only your teammates, your family that's here as well. And
Yes.
you got a growing fan base, and you got your student body. And talk about how they helped you in the crunch time, where you heard the fans yelling and pulling for you.
It gave me confidence. I'm not gonna lie to you. It was a really good feeling to feel that you have people screaming and shouting as you're running the ball. When you catch the ball, you hear everybody going crazy. That really gave me like a spark of adrenaline. Once I had the ball, I was ready. I was gone.
Okay. In our interviews, I always give the players the players of the game opportunity to throw out a message to, number one, your family, two, teammates,
Yes, sir.
classmates, friends, and anyone else that you consider to be part of your life and have mentored you or helped you to become the young man that you are.
I would like to thank, first of all, my coaches. Because without them, I would never have been on that field, that very field. Without them, I would not have been the DB I am right now. Second of all, I would like to thank my family for believing in me, for pushing me to do better. And I would just like to thank my friends, because without them as well, I don't think I would have the confidence to do what I do.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest with you.
We thank you for being honest and being frank with us, and like to see that big smile on your face in a big game win. So
Yes,
now
sir,
you've
yes,
got
sir.
that under your experience here as a Roosevelt Rough Rider. So I want to thank you for a great game tonight.
Thank you,
Look forward
thank you.
to covering you more games down the road. And
Hopefully.
until we're together again, God bless you and do well in school. Stay healthy.
Likewise. Thank you, sir.
And keep working hard on that field. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Gabriel Gomez. There he is. Okay. And with that, that's going to put the wrap on this game tonight. Roosevelt 21, Crenshaw 20. Couldn't have asked for a better game on a Thursday night here, right before the Labor Day and the big holiday weekend coming up. So, again, for Franklin Robles, videographer and producer, Ricky Siementhal, production assistant, yours truly, Rico Cabrera, doing the play-by-play. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Keep watching us on EastLASportsScene.com. And this has been East LA Sports Scene Production, bringing you tonight's game. Take care, stay safe, but more importantly, be back and be healthy. We're out.